When we were students, we used the idea of the labyrinth in class, especially Christine Patron, who was a theology teacher at the time when I was a student. She loved the idea of the labyrinth, and I, remember her telling us about labyrinth and kind of having us do it even on paper when we were students.
Well, I moved here in 2005, and I joined St. John the Baptist Parish. And there was a woman there at the time who was looking for somebody to do a retreat for the ministries. And I thought about two things, and I said, I think maybe a labyrinth might be something that I could, spend a day with people and help them understand it, and then we could actually experience walking it.
It didn't exist in the way that it does now when I was a student.
The way for us to create one here was to make one out of with chalk, and so we had a 12-circuit sharp labyrinth that was put on the grass, and we were able to use that to meditate. Time went by, and one of the best things that we did was once every quarter we had a chapel experience, and our students came in, all the students from all the different classes, and we presented some material for them, meditation. And so one year we decided that we would try to do the labyrinth. And we did a number of those over the course of some years, and then fortunately we had a principal who was willing to say, okay, maybe we should look at this and see. And so we definitely wanted to have a labyrinth on the campus. I was so grateful that we were able to do that.
It certainly feels weird. Like the first couple times you do it, you're like, kind of odd, we're just walking around. It feels a little bit like a maze, but I think the more you do it, the more it becomes meditative. You recognize that you don't have to pay attention to where you're going because the labyrinth just kind of guides you.
It's a process meditation, so there's 3 parts to the meditation, and sometimes the hardest part is to put your foot in. And as you walk through, the first part of the meditation is getting to the center of the labyrinth. So many people will use that as something that they're struggling with at home, a question that needs to be answered. They're trying to discern God's will for something, and so they will bring that question and they will walk to the center. And then the second part of the meditation is being in the center for as long as it feels comfortable, or you feel sometimes that you receive a response, that you hear something different, or you get an answer to your question. And then from there, the third part is obviously walking out of the labyrinth with some sort of resolution or some idea that you're going to use. You then walk out of the labyrinth.
For me, that was a first, but it was something that I carried into my later years and still really enjoy doing as a form of prayer.
One day, as I was coming to school, I saw all these little kids, and they were just running through the whole thing. And they didn't have to worry about which way they were going. They were really enjoying the experience of running through that labyrinth. And in a way, it was their prayer. They didn't really know necessarily what it was about, but it was a way for them to connect with their environment and with their friends. And it was just really nice to see.
It's probably my favorite thing to do with students because it's so different from what they normally do. And I think a lot of the times the disconnect with prayer with students these days is it's not physical, it's not tangible. And so to have a space where prayer becomes physical and tangible is really kind of a special thing. And so I love taking my classes out there and having them walk it. I think it becomes one of their favorites too because it's outside, so you have that natural connection, and then it's just special and unique form of prayer.